Hi there, just take a moment to read this online waiver that indicates that you have been cleared to do yoga, prenatal yoga, and that you trust your own body and you will know when something feels good or doesn't, and opt to make good decisions for yourself, waiving love yoga of any liability. All right, let's get started. So this class is going to be a joint release series with some just grounded stretching for prenatal students. And something that I tend to do, I feel like often, because I don't know about you, but as we try to stay active in other ways, sometimes there's just not as much energy when you're pregnant, or maybe some other side effects are getting in the way. If it's first trimester, you could have some nausea or indigestion going on, fatigue that just makes you not really want to do a strong flow. Third trimester, it's a lot harder to move around. The belly tends to get in the way, and there's always more swelling when we're pregnant too. So when we're stimulating the joints and moving the body mindfully, we are able to create a flow of prana, which is energy in the body. You may have heard this also referred to as chi, but I like to think of it as like every joint it's like a dam in a river. And so if you have any inflammation somewhere, like right now in my ankles, I have like these cankles going on, and I'm actually at 40 weeks right now, pregnant. So the joint release series helps to just open that up and create that flow through the body. So go ahead and make your way back to your mats. I'll be moving slowly. And we'll start seated in a way that's comfortable for you. You could even do this without a yoga mat or in your bed for part of it, especially this first part. But if cross-legged is comfortable, you could sit cross-legged, maybe with something beneath your hips. I have a blanket, and I'm going to fold it over one more time so that my hips are above my knees. You can also sit in a chair. We're going to be breathing first, and then we'll move into a little bit of gentle movement. So go ahead and close down your eyes and take some breaths in and out. In through the nose, audibly sigh it out through the mouth. Pressing into the sit bones, lengthening the spine, reaching the head tall, shrugging the head back over your shoulders, keeping that energetic pathway as you breathe in and out. And we're going to breathe in, just placing the hands on the belly, breathing into the belly, feeling the baby have a little more space as you push out. In the inhale, and then exhale, you're hugging the baby in. So you'll do this a few times. Inhaling, your belly is expanding, giving the baby room. And as you exhale, you're hugging your baby in towards you. And we'll take the fingers up towards your ribs. And I have like little lobster claws that I'm gonna pinch around my ribs. As I breathe in, I'm pressing forward and back into my fingers. And as I exhale, I'm feeling the gentle release. And so doing that a few times, breathing forward and back, and release. And if that feels easy for you, maybe you're inhaling, pressing forward, back, and out, creating space in the rib cage, and then releasing. And so what we're doing here is we're starting to move into diaphragmatic breathing. So We're breathing into the back lungs as well as the front lungs. We lose a little space as the belly gets bigger in pregnancy. So breathing into the back side of the body as well as side bodies and creating space begins to just create that lifting and falling of your diaphragm, which then tones the pelvic floor and also can activate your parasympathetic rest and digest part of the nervous system. And then we'll take one hand to the belly, one hand to the heart, and we'll move the breath from the belly up to the ribs and into the chest. And as you exhale, just feel the breath sliding down your spine, releasing towards your sit bones. And do that again, wave breath rolls, belly, ribs to chest, and letting it slide down. And so as you're breathing, creating space for the baby in your belly, and then creating that space in the back of your ribs, letting the breath rise to the chest, and then letting it fall. Really feeling a fluid-like quality here. So creating some ease. Once you get the rhythm, you can stop thinking about it quite as much. And you'll take 3 more breaths like this, and just noticing how you feel now versus how maybe you felt when you started. Whether the breath has created a little more space in your body, a little more flow, as well as connected you to the physical parts, noticing where you may be holding tension and able to offer some release, and maybe even relaxing your mind as well. I'm setting an intention here to be present with this process, with the little micro movements that we make, as well as the bigger ones. Staying present with your body and in your mind. Make your way towards cross-legged if that's comfortable, or you could sit more in like heroes type pose with a block or pillow underneath your sit bones. We'll just start by taking a few of these rolls, inhaling as you roll forward, exhaling as you round back, and feeling into the side bodies, into the front, into your back, and switching directions, making these as big or as small feels good to you. We'll start to make our way back to center, working our way up towards our wrists. So spreading the fingers a few times and then closing the fingers over your thumbs and making these big circles. So you're trying to keep your wrists level here. You're inhaling as you roll the wrists out and up, and exhaling as you roll them in and down. And so if you're keeping the wrist level, you may feel some like snap, crackles, and pops in there, which makes a lot of sense, and we'll reverse directions because we use our hands for everything. And so just smoothing it out. Good. And then we'll put the palms up, inhale, curl, like bicep curl in, bend the elbows, and then exhale, release. And do that a few times. Just, ooh, I got a little crack out of my elbow. Good. And then we'll shake the arms out. Press into the sit bones, inhale, sweep the arms wide and up. And then exhale, cactus the arms. So squeeze shoulder blades together, heart shines forward. Do that 2 more times. Inhale, reach tall, and exhale, cactus. Good, hold here. And then we're gonna take the arms towards one another and then slide the left arm under the right. Backs of the hands come together. You may even be able to touch your palms, but you're just gonna inhale up, elbows up, exhale, curl them down. So you're going to feel this in your thoracic spine. Inhale up, exhale, especially as you round like this. Good. Next time your fingertips come up, hold here. And then just drop your arms down to the right. Head goes left. Yep. Back to center, over to the left. Head goes right. Good. Back to center. Release the arms, shake them out. Inhale, sweep them up. Exhale, cactus. So now we'll do that 3 times, pausing when the arms come down, and then we'll take the opposite arm on top. So this time, right arm goes under, left arm over, and we'll pulse up and down. Next time, fingertips rise up, pause, and we'll bring the arms over to the left, head to the right, back through center, over to the right, head to left. A little awkward, but getting a good release. And then we'll drop the arms, sweep them up. Exhale, cactus, fingertips to shoulders, and we'll take some big circles here. So if your fingers don't really reach your shoulders, that's okay. You're just going for that circular movement. Inhaling as you roll up, exhaling as squeeze the shoulders blades together and roll back and down. Good. And we'll just switch the cross of the legs for a moment. And then dip the chin down and roll one ear to the side. So I took my right ear down and dropping that right shoulder, dropping the left shoulder, stretching into the neck. And then back around through center to the other side. Back through center. Bring the chin down, maybe hands cradle the head, get a back of the neck stretch. And then we'll come back to center and take some full rolls. Inhale as you look over to the right and up, opening your mouth. Exhale to the left and down. And do that a few times. Noticing if you feel any stickiness in your neck. Sometimes one side you'll feel kinks going on. And we'll pause and go the other direction. With the left and up. Like my side, I get a little kink as I go this direction. Good, working it out and then coming back to center. So we're gonna straighten our legs out in front now and kind of work into the ankles. As I mentioned, I've been getting a little bit of swelling in these cankles down here lately. Kind of started midway through third trimester. So we're gonna start by spreading the toes as you inhale, exhale, curling. Starting just with the toes, and then point and flex. You can alternate here, or you could go two at a time. And then we'll come back and do some circles. So same as the wrists, inhale as you roll out and forward, and then exhale in and up. And keep going. You can do as many of these as you'd like. In fact, kind of a good thing just to integrate switch directions throughout your day. So anytime you can, just get a little movement in there. Good. So before we move towards our tabletop where we'll start to work into our hips and everything, we're going to stretch the outside of our hip in a figure 4 shape. So if it's comfortable for you, take your hands behind you and just kick the right leg straight. We're just going to take a few knee drops first. So similar to the elbow. Inhaling to straighten, kick through the heel, exhale to bend. And then we're going to inhale to straighten, hook the right ankle over the knee. And I'm pressing my right knee forward. So just going to rock side to side here, create a little movement. Stretching into the outer hip. You'll really feel this in the glutes and the piriformis. And so if you are feeling like your belly gets in the way, you could actually sit up on like a bolster or a block, or just giving yourself a little more space. Good, and then I'm going to bring my right foot down and go to the other side. So planting my right foot, I'm going to kick that left leg forward, straightening, exhale, let my heel fall towards my glute. And then next time I straighten, hold and flex, and left heel comes, or left ankle over my knee, and create a little movement. So swaying side to side. Good. And I'm going to bring both feet down and press into my feet and my hands, squeeze shoulder blades together. And then as I lift my hips up, I'm going to press my hips towards the sky, press my knees forward, my head back, and then you gently rock forward and back a few times. One more breath in, press up, squeeze shoulder blades together, exhale, lower the hips down. Take your feet about mat width distance apart and just gently windshield wiper side to side. Inhaling, knees rise up, exhaling, drop to one side, keeping the belly button facing forward. You're not twisting too much. Good, coming back up through center, we're going to turn into tabletop, and I'm going to allow the blanket to be underneath my knees so I have some cushioning. If you have blocks or books or something that you can put at the top of your mat to use, that might be helpful. Go ahead and stack shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. And so on our tabletop, we'll go ahead and take some cat-cows. Inhale, drop the belly, bring your gaze forward, stretch the belly. Exhale, press into the mat, round your spine, touch into chest. Get a little shimmy there. Do that a few times. Inhale and exhale. Finding some organic movements, maybe even coming into some circles. I bring my knees a little wider, but rolling forward and then back. Finding the sticky spots and going the other direction. And coming around back to center. We're going to take the right leg back, stretch into the calf. So press the toes down, heel back. And then come back, shoulders over wrists, and lift your leg up behind you, bend the knee. So from here, we're going to bring the knee in, and then out to the side, and then the heel up. So big circles. And incorporate breath. So inhale, knee comes down, exhale, press it out and up. And then we'll switch directions. Inhaling as it rolls down, exhaling, kick up. And then next time the heel rises, straighten the leg, kick your heel towards the back wall, even out the hips. Bring the left arm forward, maybe lift it up. Reach forward as you kick back. And take a breath or two. And then bring the left hand down, followed by your knee. And go ahead and take your fingertips back, stretch into the forearms. Good. And then bring the backs of the hands down, curl fingertips in and release. Inhale, make a fist. Exhale, open. Then we're going to sit back onto the heels. Spread the toes, stretch into the feet, and find a sensation here. So you're going to get a nice foot stretch. It may feel a little intense. Just breathe into the sensation. Allowing it to just be. Coming into your breath. Not fighting against the sensation, just surrendering to it. And coming back down, tapping out the feet. We'll go to the other side. So take a few cat-cows. Evening back out, left foot slides back, straightening the leg, stretching into the calf. And then bend the knee, bring your leg up, and drop the knee down, roll it out to the side, heel comes up. Inhale down, exhale out and up. Good. We'll switch. Inhale out and down. And exhale up. And then we'll straighten that leg behind. Kick the heel towards the walls. Bring your arm up in front of you. Even out the hips. And take a few breaths. Good. Hand and knee comes down. And from here, coming to puppy pose, or you could take a child's pose as well. So the two options are, I'm going to use some blocks and keeping my hips above my knees, arms stretch out, head falls down in between the arms. So this is going to be more puppy pose, really getting into the shoulders. Other option is taking the knees wide for a downward dog, or not downward dog, child's pose, and letting the belly sort of cradle in between the legs. I like to take my arms to the blocks, allowing the head to drop down. This gives a little space. You might be able to bring your head to the mat if you're in your first trimester. Third trimester might need a little more support. And then sometimes it feels really good to bend the elbows, taking the palms together behind your head. So this will give you a nice tricep stretch. So you choose, you could do both or just one of them. Finding a sense of surrender here, a sense of softening. And we'll rock back up. Option to take a downward facing dog. So as long as you're not having heartburn or not feeling dizzy, then go ahead and press into your hands, press into your toes and lift the knees up. Slide the sit bones towards the sky. Let the head dangle down. And then you can start to pedal out your legs. So bring the right heel down, keep the left knee bent, then go side to side, straightening left leg, bending right knee, moving with your breath. So inhale and exhale. When you start to feel like your calves and hamstrings are opening up, you may even try to press both heels down. If you notice that you rock forward, though, then you may want to keep the knees a little more bent. Finding some movement always helps get us a little deeper into the pose. Then we'll roll forward back to the knees, coming up to the knees. I'm going to just bring my right leg forward, and you can use blocks for support if you'd like here, but use those to kind of come up into a low lunge. And from here, we'll bring the arms up above, drag your heel back and your knee forward. Feel the activation of your legs, reaching up, pressing down. You can stay here, or you can bring your leg a little further forward, kind of pulsing into your hip flexor. You may even take your hands together above your head, or cactus the arms. Good. You back up to center. We're just going to slide the foot behind and straighten the leg. So now my toes are pointing forward and my foot is parallel to the side of the mat. So I'm in more of like a gate pose. We'll take the arms out to the side. Take an inhale here. Exhale, side bend over to your left. And inhale, we'll rise forward. And then exhale, bring your hand down. And you can stay here, kind of getting into another side body stretch, or you may lift your leg up. And if you do, it helps to have your toes tucked behind you as like an anchor. We're going to just circle the hips here. Circling the leg forward and back, maybe pressing up a few times. You can keep your hand on your hip or raise it up, the arm up to the sky. Good. And then we'll press that foot down, rise up. One more side bend. And then we'll come back up to center. From here, I'm going to grab my blocks. I'm going to turn the toes up and stretch into the outer or the inner thighs. So and I'm going to pulse up and down a few times. You may even feel this moving towards the outside. If you rock forward and back, you may notice the IT band gets a little activated. Good. And then we'll come back around to center. And then we'll switch sides. So I'm using the blocks. So a few options, take some cat-cows, or if you have blocks, I'm going to bring my knees together, my feet wide, just sway the hips. It's good to sometimes bring the knees together. Opens up the pelvis in a different way. It creates more space. When you talk about birthing a baby, the baby has to drop into the top of the pelvis. So that requires a little more of like the knees apart. And then when the baby slides out, apparently the knees coming together is more to help open up the bottom of the pelvis. Good. And then we'll switch sides. So left leg's going to come forward. I'm going to turn because it'll make more sense this way. but you don't have to turn. And work your way up to a low lunge. Pressing down, reaching up, and then dragging the heel back and the knee forward. And you can stay here, or you could maybe toe heel your foot forward a little more, getting into the hip flexor. And so really being careful here not to stick the butt out, but more tuck the pelvis. And we have a lot of relaxin going on in the body, so not overstretching. It's easy to do that when you're pregnant. So finding a good support first and then getting into your stretch. And then we're going to bring the arms down, slide the toes back, and then straighten your left leg. Okay. So here, toes are going to be facing forward, parallel to the side, arms reach out. Take an inhale here, exhale, side bend up and over. Press into the mat, inhale, back through center, bringing your hand down, and maybe lifting the leg. Taking a few circles, forward and back. Oops. And then coming back up through center, grabbing those blocks, turning the toes up, and rocking forward and back. Good. And then from here, bring the knees down. If you have some kind of support, we're going to come into a yoga squat called Malasana. And I'm going to use a block, or actually maybe two, underneath to sit on. And then feet are going to point slightly outward, heels come in, elbows come to knees, pressing my elbows into the knees, my heart lifts forward, straightening the spine, tucking the pelvis under. So again, have a gentle scoop here in the back. So it goes down and around. And breathe. You may even have some rocking side to side. Coming back to center, inhale, pressing down into the pelvic floor as you inhale. And as you exhale, drawing slightly up. So no need to tense, but just feel a gentle activation. Inhale, pressing down. Exhale, drawing back up. Good. Diaphragmatic breathing again. And then we'll go ahead and make our way down. We're going to do a bridge pose, and then we're going to do legs up the wall, which I'll show you. I actually prefer to do it in my bed, but I'll show you how to do it here. I like to have something cushiony these days underneath me and a block or a pillow to put between my legs. So as I come down, block or pillow goes in there. So you're having that nice abduction of drawing inward. Press the feet down. And then you can inhale, lift the hips up. And I'm pressing my elbows down and my fingertips towards the sky. You could do that. Or you could actually clasp underneath, walk the shoulders under, lift the hips a bit higher. You could also put a block underneath you for support, eventually rolling back down. And then rolling to the side so that you can gently press yourself up rather than trying to use the core, which is non-existent right now. So legs up the wall. if you're in your first trimester, you could probably lay flat still. I would still suggest like a pillow underneath your head. But any other, I would say you need to be on some kind of an incline. And that's one of the reasons I really like to do this in my bed is because it's soft. So legs go up the headboard. And so since I don't have a headboard, I'm going to show you how to do it against this wall. I'm actually going to move my plants out of the way. I wanted them to be in the video because they're very pretty. And I'm going to show you with pillows, since most of you probably don't have a bolster at home. If you're doing this on the regular floor, I suggest something soft like this blanket right here. And then we want to make an incline. So if you have a block, that will be helpful. And I'm going to put one pillow kind of propped up on it, the other pillow like this, and pull them sort of close. If you have a bolster, you would make an incline with blocks and that. And then as you come up against either the wall, or if you're doing this in your bed, this would be your headboard. You're going to come with your side parallel. And then you sort of, it is not the most graceful thing when you're pregnant, I will tell you. But you start to bring your sacrum down and your legs come up. Now, why am I going through the trouble to do this? Well, when you get your legs up above your heart, above your head, you're able to let fluid drain out of the ankles, out of the feet. And so by keeping them up like this, they start to reverse the flow of energy, reverse the flow of fluid. It starts to flush back up towards your vital organs and replenishes. And then you also will notice that, like if you did this for about 5 minutes, then the swelling starts to go down. Of course, you can create some little movements here, circling your ankles as you do this. And the reason I like to do this in my bed is because I will say, especially third trimester, my sacrum has been more sore. And so the pressing down here can be a little bit much. And we want to keep our sacrum mobile because pelvic floor needs to open to birth the baby. So the sacrum actually moves out of the way along with your coccyx, which is your tailbone. And you want that to be very mobile. And so the less that you can press down, the better. So doing this in bed, I almost suggest doing it at night before you go to sleep, because it also will help to down regulate your energy. It will help to make you just feel a little bit more relaxed, a little more tired. So it's a great thing to do before bed. Spending some time with the legs up the wall. I mean, we're really on our feet all day, right? And everything just pulls down towards the bottom, and swelling is so common. We just want to make sure that we're not flat on the back, not pressing on, the nerve that's back there, because that can cut off some oxygen supply towards the baby. But as long as you have a little bit of an incline, you're good. Little relaxation, coming back into your breathing, belly, ribs to chest. And then exhaling back down. You can stay here as long as you'd like. I would say there's been times I've done this for 20 minutes, especially when I'm feeling more swelling going on. By then, I'm almost falling asleep. If your legs get tingly, especially if this is new for you, then you can always bend them, placing the soles of your feet on the support, and then lengthen them back up. And once you're feeling nice and relaxed, you'll roll to one side again, slowly pressing yourself up, especially if there was pressure on your sacrum. Thank you so much for joining me for this joint release series. And I hope that it helped you to connect with your body and your mind and your breath. The light and love in me honors the same in each of you, mamas. Namaste.